started dating my wife 8 years ago when we were in school, and we've been married for 4 years. It was as close to love at first sight as anything I've experienced. I was ready to ask her to marry me within a month. I waited because I wanted to make sure we both had stable careers set up in the same area so she wouldn't feel pressured to compromise, and proposed immediately we did. We've had some fights and arguments, of course, but minor ones. She was everything that I'd always wanted in a partner. Smart, funny, in tune with me, beautiful. I'm not a very socially outgoing person, but she was my best friend and someone I could always trust to be there for me. If you'd asked me on Thursday, I would have said that the last 2 years were the best of my life. On Thursday, my wife went out of her way to tell me that she loved me. She was grateful for the life we'd built together, and she was excited to start a family with me. She told me that she was planning on spending last weekend on a girls' trip for one of her friends' birthdays. After she returned from work on Friday, I went to look at something on her computer, only because it was closer than mine. The first thing on screen was an email with the man she was actually renting the Airbnb with. I looked back at her email to him, and they went back to April 2017. He had made a separate throwaway email account. It looked like she didn't. I've since found out that it actually goes back to the previous fall, 2 years ago. There's nothing actually personally offensive about me, but otherwise, imagine the worst possible set of disclosure you could find about your partner. That's what you have. Talk about how to sneak into each other's houses to have sex. Extensive coordinating about my and his wife's few trips out of town and how they could use that time with each other. Nude photos, extensive discussion of everything they're going to do to each other during their lunch breaks with a heavy bandage twist. You get the idea. I spent the morning freaking out as everything I thought I knew in my world came crashing down. She came home early because she had to leave for her trip. I showed her the computer screen, told her I was leaving, that I didn't think there was any way to fix this and that I couldn't talk about it then. She broke down and begged me not to leave and tried to step in front of my car as I was backing out of the driveway. I've always gotten a bad vibe from this guy and been sort of jealous of him. Something that I criticize myself for since it seems so irrational. After some internal debate, I told his wife because I decided I would have wanted her to do that in the reverse situation. She was also tuned but told me that she had also had a subjective suspicion. I spent the weekend with my friends who have been unbelievably and humblingly supportive. On Saturday, I got a call from the hospital. My wife checked herself into the psych ward because she was contemplating suicide at the thought of my leaving. I went to visit her yesterday and she begged me to take her back. She also lied to me again. She said that her friends didn't know until Friday. I've talked to one of her friends who knew the whole time. I want my life back. I want a friend, a partner, a confidant, and I want to start a family. I thought she was the perfect person in the world to do that with. I genuinely can't imagine trying to start over with someone else. My wife says she'll do anything to make this work, but what can she possibly do? How can I ever trust her again when she's willing to do this to me for 2 years and lie about it? How can I ever hold her or kiss her or sit across from her at dinner without thinking about what I know? My wife has been cheating on me for 2 years and wants to do anything to fix it. Is there anything she can do? So background. I, 24 female, eloped with my partner, 23 male, in December 2021 on the day we met 4 years ago without anyone in our families knowing about it, and was planning to do an actual ceremony and reception with friends and family around in 2024 same day. But tonight, I was on his phone just looking at some photos he took of our dog and was looking at some other photos that he had took while he was at work. I noticed some screenshots of login websites, of dating hookup apps, and it made me wonder what else he had been doing. So I started going through his phone while he was passed out on the couch next to me. I found deleted screenshots of girls' dating profile and dick pics and videos that was from January 6th of this year, and I know it wasn't meant for me. Recently added phone apps from the beginning of November that have since been deleted, not sure when or how long he was on these. I saw that he paid to be on one of these websites and had recently Snapchat chats with other women for the past 2 months. Looking at the timeline of events, This all started in November, right before we got engaged, and continued about a week or two after we eloped the end of December. He probably only just stopped maybe a week ago talking to other women. So I confronted him about it and asked him straight up if he had been cheating on me. He admitted that he was. He got bored while he was out of town for work during the week and had a need that needed to be filled, and he let it get out of hand. He said he's never met with anyone, never physically been with another woman and had sex during that time. He just talked to them and exchanged some photos. He said he felt bad and realized it was getting out of hand and didn't want to lose me, so he stopped like a week ago and regretted his actions. He didn't mean to hurt me and was eventually going to tell me before I caught him. At the moment, I feel hurt and empty inside because we haven't been married for a month now, and the timeline of events was during the same time we got engaged and decided we wanted to elope the day we met in December 4 years ago. And even after we tied the knot, he was talking to these women. I'm not so sure what to do. I still love him and want to be with him, but it is hard to trust him again because this isn't the first time he had lied to me and I caught him in the lie. Usually it is small things, but still, he knew how I felt about cheating and how it destroyed my family, and he knows my insecurities about not feeling like I'm enough for him and how I feel like I need to do better, etc. I'm not just sure how to feel about it, since yes, he did cheat on me by going on dating/hookup apps and activities seeking other women's attention and sent a couple of dick pics to them. During this time we were planning our future together, but never acted on meeting and hooking up with them. Honestly, if he did sleep with someone else, no question, I would be packing up right now as we speak, but since it wasn't physical, I'm not sure what the next step in this relationship or even what to say to him other than I'm hurt and need the night to think about it. Any advice on what to do next after finding this information out after being married for less than a month now? Thank you for watching.